Hey y'all, look, I was just sitting around thinking about how much people complain. And I just want to get on here and talk about it for a few minutes because that is something that a lot of people, including myself, we do like on a daily basis. Y'all, we have to stop complaining. That also goes with staying in a place of gratitude. We have to stop complaining. I mean, we complain about the smallest things like who didn't turn off the light, or why you didn't put that in the trash after you finished with it, or why can't we do this on this day at this time, or it's just something that's really, really, really unnecessary. And in this journey that God has me on, I am going to intentionally catch myself to stop complaining, because little do you know that when you complain, you are really stepping out of the line of God. Like, you are out of line, you're out of bounds with God when you complain so much. And when I think about it and I reflect on it, and I'm like, you know what, girl, you've been complaining for ever. Like, this is like crazy to me. Like, and we do it and we don't realize that we're doing it because we're so caught up in our day-to-day activities, we don't even realize that we're complaining. But God is not pleased with complainers. And if you are trying to transform your life and be better people, then we have to learn how to eliminate complaining. God does not want to hear you complaining. Don't try to talk to him about why something ain't this way and why does it have to be this way. No, that's not what that's about. No, sir. No, ma'am. It's not going to happen. It's not going to turn out good for you, because it tells you in the Bible, even in the beginning of time, like in Genesis with Adam and Eve, it talks about how Adam complained to God after they were disobedient. Like, in it tells you in the Bible that there are consequences behind complaining. So we really need to think about that and focus on that moving forward, because you're blocking your blessings when you complain. God ain't trying to hear you complain. He's not. If you complaining too much and talking about why this and that is not happening, and God, why did you do this, or why did you do that? No, stop, because you're not helping yourself. In all actuality, you're hindering yourself. You're blocking the blessing that you've asked him for. You're blocking the blessing that you are believing him for. So yeah, that complaining, y'all, we gotta stop it. We gotta stop it. We gotta stop it right now. I mean, in like everyday terms, like I think about how I'm at home a lot, and I can catch myself complaining, and then I kind of pull back sometimes. But then when you are caught up in the riffraff of your regular schedule and you going through it, and you just got off work, you come home, the house is a mess, and then you start complaining. And I can go back and I think, you know what? A lot of our disagreements came from me complaining. Could have been avoided. Could have been avoided. And I can remember times my husband would be like, hey, hold all that down with that complaining stuff. He would call it out. And it made me mad. But he was telling the truth. Like, stop complaining. We have got to stop complaining. It doesn't do anything but keep you in a negative headspace. Like, if you're trying to push forward and move forward, you can't do it complaining, because you're not going to move forward. You're just going to focus on that one little thing that you're complaining about, and you're going to stay negative. And then what's going to happen is the outcomes are going to be negative as well. So we have to really be cognizant and intentional about trying not to complain. Is that going to be, now I'm not saying we're going to be perfect, y'all. I'm not saying that, because you're never perfect in anything. No. And know that God will forgive you. But you have to put forth the effort to stop complaining. because if you look around, you have so much to be thankful for. Why would you be complaining? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you complain about something this big when you have everything that you could possibly ask for at your disposal? If you are, I'm not going to use the word broke because I said I don't use that word no more. But if you are lacking funds, your bank account is a little low, don't complain about it. Do something about it, because God has given you all of the tools that you need to change your situation. We just have to know how to apply what he's given us. And I'm learning that even in these videos that I'm making, the video right now, I'm learning that he's given me a tool that I've always had, and I'm using it not just to help me, but to help somebody else. This is therapeutic for me. Yeah, it is. And I'm thankful for it. I'm in a state of gratitude for it, because all of these years I was complaining about not being able to do it because I was living in fear. So yeah, it all goes hand in hand. Stop complaining, start focusing what is good, and start producing good outcomes. I know that sometimes that can be easier said than done, but that's when you have to go to work. It's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always be simple. There's not going to always be a simple fix for our issues, but we can't focus on the issue. We need to start focusing on the solution, because if you're focusing on the issue, then you start complaining. It all comes together. Like I've heard that so many times, and you know how you can hear something and you understand it, but it doesn't really penetrate your heart until you actually go through it. And I was listening to Latoya Okia, and she was talking about complaining not too long ago, and it just really resonated with me because I do a lot of it, y'all. I complain a lot, and I said, "Girl, no, we gotta stop on this complaining." So, yeah, I just wanted to get on here and just really talk to you guys about that, because I know I'm not the only person that complain, because I work in an environment. I'm an educator, so I work in an environment where there's nothing but complaints. Like every single day, there's something new that someone is complaining about. But we have to sometimes understand that those situations that we are placed in are not meant for us to complain. They're actually meant for us to learn. And I have learned so much in that situation. I've gone from thinking I was the best teacher on earth to realizing that, nah, girl, you got a lot to learn. Because once that bubble is popped in a situation where you think that everything is cool and copacetic, you start complaining because you really mad. You mad at the fact that you thought something was a certain way, and in reality it turned out to be something different, and you couldn't deal with the reality, so you start to complain about it. So yeah, I've been there, and I'm still there. I'm not gonna even lie. This is not something that's gonna change overnight. But as I move forward in this journey, I know God is going to take that out of me. He's going to remove all of that from me, because I have a purpose to serve, and I can't serve it complaining. I can't serve it. I don't have time to complain. And most of us don't. We don't have time to complain. We don't have time to sit back and try to figure out why something isn't the way it is. Stop focusing on these issues that we're having, because if you're focusing on it, is what is going to flow out of you. So, and being a complainer will flow out of you. So that means that you have to reel it in. Yeah, it's okay to sit back and think about it, because you have to come up with a solution, but you don't have to open your mouth about it. What we need to start doing is getting on our knees and talking to God about it, so he can give us the route that we need to take to get to the solution, to resolve the issues instead of complaining about it. If we would sit back, and I use relationships a lot because I'm in one. But yeah, if we would sit back and think about what we want in the relationship, out of the relationship, the positive things, not the negative or the selfish things. But if we sit back and just not focus on what is negative, because everything is not going to be all rainbows and unicorns. Instead of focusing on that issue, deal with the issue, get to the solution, and move on. So, guys, I'm just asking that you just really kind of meditate on the complaining thing, because it's hindering you. It's taking you out of the line of God. And I don't want that for anybody. So I'm just asking that you would just think about it, meditate on it, do your research on it, and try to stop complaining and ask God to give you the wisdom to catch yourself before you complain.